On a busy street, amidst the bustling crowd of the city, there was a small cafe with a faint aroma of freshly brewed coffee. People walked in and out, rushing about their daily tasks. No one noticed the arrival of an old man, frail and limping through the door, his worn coat barely protecting him from the biting cold. Jai Peng, 92 years old, had eyes that seemed to carry the weight of a lifetime. His trembling hands clutched a few small coins, hoping to buy something to fill his empty stomach. The eyes of the people in the cafe were on him, not with sympathy but with contempt. He could feel their unwelcome stares, but he had no other choice. Slowly he approached the counter, placed the coins on the surface, and with a hoarse voice he asked, "Can I have the cheapest sandwich, please?" His voice was soft, hoping not to bother anyone. Marcella, the cafe owner, a middle-aged woman with a cold demeanor, looked him up and down with disdain. She crossed her arms, her lips curling. "This is not a place for homeless people like you," she emphasized each word, making JP shudder. "If you don't have money, don't eat." Those words cut into JP's pride like a knife. He tried to stay calm, mustering all the courage he had left to continue. "Please, just something cheap. I'm very hungry." His eyes dropped, his voice pleading. But instead of pity, JP was met with laughter. Another customer, sitting nearby, called out loudly, "That's right, old man! Get lost! We don't want you here!" The mocking and scornful words made JP feel as if he had become invisible, just a meaningless shadow in other people's lives. Shame, hunger, and loneliness engulfed him. He wanted to leave, but his legs wouldn't move. That was when the cafe door opened, bringing in a breath of fresh air. A woman walked in with an elegant, powerful presence. Isabella, with sleek brown hair and a sharp outfit, quickly drew the attention of everyone in the cafe. She wasn't like the usual customers. She was a well-known woman in the city, the owner of high-end fashion stores. As soon as she entered, her eyes landed on the counter where Xiaopi stood, looking lost. Isabella sensed something was wrong. She saw the contempt in the way Marcella treated the old man and couldn't stand by. Without hesitation, she approached the counter, her sharp eyes cutting through the heavy atmosphere in the cafe. "What's going on here?" Isabella asked, her voice calm but laced with an undertone of criticism. The entire cafe fell silent, everyone pausing to see what would happen next. Marcella, recognizing the woman in front of her, tried to regain her confidence. "This man came in here begging, and I told him we don't serve people who can't pay." Her voice remained cold. Isabella glanced at JP, the old man staring down, his trembling hands gripping the small coins tightly. His eyes were filled with despair, yet he tried to hold on to what little dignity he had left. "Don't worry, sir," Isabella said gently. "Today your meal is on me." JPE looked up at Isabella, his eyes filled with tears, hardly believing what he had just heard. It had been so long since he had encountered kindness from a stranger. Isabella turned back to Marcella, her gaze colder now. "He has the right to be served like anyone else in this cafe." Marcella, feeling challenged, tried to hold her ground. "We don't do charity here. If he can't pay, he shouldn't be here." Isabella gave a faint smile, her eyes still fixed on Marcella. "You talk about charity, but it seems you've forgotten that you're dealing with a human being, not a beggar." She stepped forward, her voice growing stronger. "Business is about serving people, and I won't stand by and watch you treat others in such an inhumane way." The customers in the cafe began to feel uneasy, the mocking words from earlier now silenced. They watched as Isabella confronted Marcella, and some started to reflect on their own behavior. Marcella, though still defiant, was now embarrassed. "I'm just following the rules." "Rules should never come before humanity," Isabella responded, her voice firm but still graceful. "I'll pay for whatever he wants, and if you continue treating people this way, I'll make sure the entire city knows how you run your business." Joe P.E., still bewildered by the sudden help, was led to a table by the window. Isabella sat down with him, and as his meal was brought out, she watched him with an indescribable feeling in her heart. It was then that she noticed an old watch on Joe P.'s wrist, something very familiar to her, as if it was pulling her back into the past. Isabella asked Joe P. to show her the watch, and when she flipped it over, her heart raced. Engraved on the back was the name Emmanuel, a name once tied to her heart, someone she had loved deeply and lost. JP, puzzled by Isabella's sudden emotion, explained that it was the last gift from his son, Emmanuel, before he passed away. In that moment, Isabella realized that JPE was the father of the man she had once loved so dearly, but never had the chance to say goodbye to. Both of them sat in silence, sharing the pain of loss, but also feeling a deep connection. Life was full of surprises, and even in moments of grief, kindness could bring comfort and healing. This story isn't just about a free meal or simple kindness. It's about the connections between people, about how we never know where life will take us or who we will meet. Leave a comment below, share your thoughts on this emotional story, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel to follow more touching stories.